up, my freaks? RuinousInsight here with part 22 of my Total Warhammer II modded Throgg campaign. So as we saw last time, we have finally made our army of Throgg's beasts more or less complete. I mean, it doesn't have any marauders left in it and is now just monstrous units, more or less. And yes, it will have some changes down the line, but at least now it can proceed calmly to whatever the hell it's going to do next, which is going through Kislev and trying to get to the Frostworm hunt. In addition to that, we have sieged Fort Berggris, which is the last remaining fort belonging to Marienburg, and have destroyed the Empire for good. Sirtha Ek is also on the field, and he will soon have a relatively weak army that we're going to send out to sea to just grab all those buffs and farm Sirtha some XP before he starts sailing down to deal with Cetra. Anyway, as promised at the end of last episode, we are going to start off this one by attacking this fort. Now, this is going to be a lot more difficult than this suggests, just because of the enemy mortars and towers and the fact that there's a long way towards the approach of the enemy fort, as you guys will see in a second. Alrighty, here we go, our first fort with Wulfric, and as forts are fairly rare in this campaign, or just in Mortal Empires, or on the map in general, we should really try to enjoy this while we can. So, fortunately, the enemy garrison is at half HP, so they're not really all that threatening, and in fact, they don't have a... Like, the AI screwed up here. Instead of standing near this tower and activating it so that it could damage our Berserkers, this Halberdiers unit is just standing by here, which makes absolutely no sense, but okay. Obviously, we are going to send in a Wulfric and the Skinwolves to attack the gate, because they're the best at it. The gate is also going to be charged by our tankiest unit, the Icehorn Marauders, who may actually be tankier than Wulfric himself. I'm not entirely sure, but these guys have taken a lot of punishment over several episodes, and I take it they're going to continue taking more. Now, the enemy towers are going to be firing at us, so we are going to start taking damage on several of our Berserker units, which is not a surprise, and the enemy mortars are also going to help out with that. But I feel like the enemy just doesn't have the amount of units that it needs to hold the line long enough for the towers and the mortars to do the damage that they want to do. So, we're just going to be moving up here. I'm going to keep this at max speed for a little bit while, or not max speed, a normal speed for a little while, because there's not much to see as we approach the walls. Although, over here you can see the Halberdiers here who are unshielded and are going to get wrecked by Javelin spam very, very quickly. A half a unit of Halberdiers obviously is not much to contend with that many Javelins, and there we go, they are immediately routing, and I don't think they're going to be coming back, and even if they do, they'll die immediately. Our Marauder champions are going to be going up the center, where the mortars are the most likely to hit them, just because they're a little bit less fragile than all the Berserkers out here as well. And you can see on the side of the fort here a repeat of the Javelineers wrecking Halberdiers. And finally, we have Berserkers up on the walls. They'll be facing off against the Great Swords first. Kind of an interesting matchup. I would have loved to see this at a one-on-one, i.e. the two units charging each other. Obviously, the Great Swords would wreak a terrible havoc among the Berserkers generally, just because they're damage dealers. But the Berserkers are two-handed also damage dealers, so I feel like they'd both go down to half HP, and then the Berserkers would win in the end. Well, at least buffed Berserkers that we have, but I could be mistaken. We'll see if we can't get one of those duels going eventually. They might lose, it really depends. I'm just thinking that when enraged and when they've been in battle for a full 2 minutes, they've gotten a fair few amount of buffs. So they should be doing okay against these guys. It's just they'll be taking damage, as I said. Anyway, we are going to continue using our Marauder Hunters with Javelins by pelting these Reiksguard that are down here. Obviously, they can't help while all the units are fighting on top of the walls. Now, we do have our Mammoth and stuff trying to break through the gate, which is at what? It's at... come on. Oh, come on. 37%. It looks like the Mammoth's actually clipping through the door a little bit, which is why we just click on Wulfric instead of the gate. So that gate will be down fairly quickly, but our soldiers, or our units rather, will be up and over the walls long before that gate falls. Here we go. We got the Marauder champions, both great axe and shielded variety, getting ready to go in here. And it looks like the enemy is actually using a unit of regular swordsmen to guard this gate instead of the great swords, which is kind of bizarre. In fact, they just try to move away a little bit. Alright, well, good luck with that. Now, as you can see, we have this unit of Berserkers here. I'm not moving them in simply because I decided to target the enemy great swords with those Marauder Hunters with javelins. Once again, so much use for this unit. And yeah, they're taking damage to the towers, but I think this is worthwhile. I'd also like to see great swords versus Marauder champions with great weapons. That would be a better matchup than the Berserkers versus the great swords, who the great swords might beat. This is very, very even on the other hand. So guys, come back here and fight. I mean, I know that you're at half HP, but these guys are also going to be fighting the swordsmen at the same time. So, fair enough. And let's see, over here the exact same thing is happening. The AI is really kind of going crazy here, just moving side to side, not really staying in the fight with regards to fighting the Marauder champions anywhere. As a little bit of an odd behavior, and now instead of attacking these guys, I decide to leave it to the champions with great weapons and have the Marauder Berserkers move in to try to take out those mortars who are wreaking the most havoc on our own troops. The gate finally goes down, and a giant pile of skin wolves moves on in, but past the enemy lord. The enemy lord is going to be killed by Wulfric himself, who is the duelist, while these guys go quickly for the mortar. They're also going to briefly charge through this unit just to break through it, but other than that, we should be fine. We also have Wulfric with support with the Icehorn Marauders, who I sort of think of as his personal guard here, as they've been with him from the start, plus they're very nicely buffed up. We can also see our own Berserkers over here. They are Berserk. They're rampaging. And I did send in our Skinwolf Werken Egrim to fight these Reiksguard down here, mostly so that he does a little bit of extra damage, plus distracts these guys, bunches them up, as it were, while our range units pelt them with even more javelins. The enemy lord is just about fallen, and I believe all of the units that were fighting the Marauder champions are just about dead, except for this one unit of greatswords, I guess. And is that the enemy lord dying? Oh, okay, yeah, that I saw an explosion of blood, and I thought for a second that it was the Icehorn Marauders that were dying, but no, it looks like we're good. Our Skinwolf should be at the mortars very, very quickly, so that I'm going to be real happy with. And yeah, looks like it's just Marauder champions versus basic units left now. All the other stuff is done, so let's just watch this until the end of this battle. A relatively easy fort conquest, I gotta admit, but hey, I thought it was fun. And plus, as I said, we had to charge up this little marshy high ground area, sort of. Well, it's not marshy, but it is high ground, and then going up through this part of the water would slow us down, which would possibly be necessary to avoid as much towers attacking as possible. Our units aren't really getting past these guys really well. I guess they don't deal enough damage, and I did not mean to speed it up. Whoops. Yeah, let's just watch the Marauder champions go to work here. They shouldn't lose any units, really, to basic archers and handgunners, even with the buffs. And oh, it looks like these handgunners are actually staying here and firing on our units that are running that way, getting some damage into our Marauder Berserkers. Nice use here. Good job, AI. Impressive. Unfortunately, they're all going to chain route in a couple of seconds. I do believe as soon as the skin wolves, rather, hit these guys, they're going to chain route. Yeah, there we go. We see they're all terrified, and they're routing, and the chain route is in. These guys are going to follow, and the fort is ours just like that, obviously. Most casualties on the Berserkers, but some on the Marauder Hunters with javelins as well, as they were taking a lot of fire from mortars as well as the towers. But hey, everybody did well. Alrighty, there we go. Down goes the fort. Obviously, it wasn't all that difficult of a battle, so the auto-resolve was more or less correct in some regard, but not completely. Obviously, we still took more damage than we otherwise might have. I suppose I could have waited for Wulfric to just break down the gates and not have had the army been approaching the walls, but it is fun to just have them charge up the walls and fight up there and attack on occasion, especially when we don't lose any units. Now, this was a half a garrison, so, or was it plus? I don't remember. But if it had been full, that would have been a lot more difficult to do. We still would have done it, but we might have had some losses on the Zerkers, like unit losses, not individual losses. Like actual full unit losses is what I mean. Anyway, there we go. We are going to raise it for the Serpent, I think a couple more times. I want the Gift of the Serpent on Wulfric's army while we're still dealing with the money issues. Now, hopefully, what happens is... Okay, yeah, you get a Kurgan Slave Merchant. Sacking settlements, yeah, it's not bad. Let's get out of that. That does not... Wait, that does not destroy Marienburg? What the hell do they have? No. That should have been the end of that faction. What the hell? Okay, wait, that's odd. Marienburg, where are you? You are alive, you have 0 settlements, so you have a lord with a small army somewhere that will most likely suicide. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Wulfric, you're going to go into your own encamp stance. You are missing... what? Oh, right, you're missing a spot for a mammoth. I think that's why I took away both your chariot and your hounds, and you do need those mammoths in there, especially as you're going to get upgrades to them soon. Okay. We can do that. We can certainly do that. When will we be able to recruit mammoths? That's another issue, though. We are a fair ways away from doing it in Kurun. How about here in the Winter Pyre? Aisling's Conclave. Okay, so we can indeed recruit them here. No, wait, those are wolves. We can recruit them here. But what is their recruitment cost from non-local recruitment? And plus, this is basic feral mammoths. It's not really the war mammoths that we want. I think we'll wait on it. We'll just keep Wulfric with the 19 troops that he has, and we'll get the Soul Crusher in there. I mean, we need a rank 30. Throgg is, what, 28 right now? And we'll get the Great Mahard when we do the hunt. Yeah, he's at 28, almost 29, like a few points away from that. So if we take all this stuff over here, and I imagine we will go through Ostermark. There's no reason to keep them alive. Plus, if we take Norden, that's another place that we could have a base for regeneration out of. We might as well do that. Yeah, so Throgg can do that. Heroes not moved. The Hjalmars. Can you do it this time? Another failure for a Hjalmar. Man, I'm tempted to delete these guys. I feel like they're cursed. They just keep on failing. Wow, since I've seen anything like this. Torvaldek. And Torvaldek also fails, unfortunately. The Hjalmar has spread to him like a disease. Okay, there we go. And I believe that's all the heroes not moved. We will finish up a technology next turn for the Axe Maker's Stone, which helps out our Marauders with missiles. But it's all this good stuff that we're looking to get. And I believe that's it, so let's end it. And let's see if anybody does anything fun. Alright, Pirates, Camry, Karazakarek, Sylvania, and Von Karstein. Oh, did they take the fort here? Did Kem take the fort? I saw him move there, but I can't quite tell. No, fort is still ruins. Kem, you're right there, buddy. Take it, it's free. Wulfric left it for you. What are you doing, man? Ambusher discovered. Well, that's swell for the ambusher. Kem, what are you doing? You have 3 armies here, and... it just annoys me. Take the fort, stay there. Okay, Wulfric. What are you going to do? I mean, for a while, I guess you're going to have to allow Marienburg. You know what? Allow Marienburg to rebel, I guess. You can sit here. Will this... Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Go into... If you go into raiding stance, that'll help out here. Just do it. It's fine. I'd like it to rebel earlier, and then Wulfric can farm the rebellion, and then after that, I guess he can go fight Paravant and the other Bretonnians. He's also going to do the battle for the Sword of Torgald, I believe. We can try doing it this episode, or maybe next episode. It really depends on how long it takes for us to get there. In the meantime, you, Tavi, we can get you. We've been trying to move towards Revered by the Tribe, haven't we? I mean, we're also popping points into Piercing Bolts of Burning and Flamestorm and all the good spells. But I feel like the earlier we get this for Wulfric's army, the better. So maybe we do that. Alright, Drain Magic gives you Winds of Magic Power Reserve. Sacking Settlements, but it's only 10%. Not that that isn't amazing, but I feel like we go Drain the Land first. Or I guess we could go 2 and 2. 6%. Probably worthwhile. Yeah, let's do something like that. So you just stay here, Wulfric, raid your own territory until it rebels. And wait, can Marienburg defend itself from these guys? Yeah, it can from a basic stack, so I think you're good. And this is... It's being repaired, right? Why did I not repair that? Did I forget? Whoops. Okay, Surtha. Now it's your turn to move into Kurun. And we don't unfortunately have enough money to get your army completed this turn, so we're gonna have to wait a few. We get some very, very basic troops in here, which is probably what we're going to end up doing. But they're... You know what? We should be able to afford at least these. So let's go regular Marauders. We'll replace them with better stuff later. We'll go 1 Axe Marauder, and then we have 19. We have room for one more thing. We have 2 Hounds and 1 Ice Wolves, so let's get another Ice Wolf unit. There we go. Looks good to me. Not much of a melee line, but this army is never going to have much of a melee line anyway, so I think we'll deal with that. And I want to see, though, is Marauder Horsemasters. Where are you guys? Right here. 0 out of 31. It'll take only 1,300 or 1,400 to recruit you from... That's not bad. I thought it would be a lot more expensive. We could actually globally recruit you guys. Okay. When we have enough money, we'll definitely do that. The Mammoths... Not the Pharaoh Mammoths. Yeah, pretty darn expensive. You also get a giant in somewhere. I'm not entirely sure where. Does Throgg need a giant? Does anything he have actually buff giants? That's the question I have. If he's going Frostbitten and Monsters of the North. Okay, Monsters of the North does buff a giant. I guess we could get one in here, but we're running out of space for damn troops. I do want another Skinwolf unit to have a fast unit. Yeah, we'll probably have to remove this one Norse Control unit, and 2 of these guys are going to be changed to, or 3 of these guys... Oh, no, that doesn't... There's too many units. Yeah, I'll have to think about this. Too many different types of monsters that I feel like should go in his army. In the meantime, you... I guess we're going to go Horrid Blessings. Now, one of the comments suggested that despite the fact that this says we actually lose weapon strength, that this is in fact lying. So, let's try it out, and let's just hope that it isn't the case. I guess what I really should do is try between the episodes just to make sure. I mean, I don't really want to lose -3 weapon strength. You know, I trust you guys. Let's hopefully... Okay, it's back to 49. Okay, so it does in fact work despite the fact that it kept appearing negatively here. Okay, beautiful. That had me very much concerned. Okay, so that means this stuff will be a lot better. Because we'll be able to get some damn good upgrades for you. Nice. And I guess we should go Sharpened Claws early. I mean, obviously we're going to go both lines. Make this guy a very, very good killer of lords. And now, oh look, it's the final army. Unfortunately, we won't be able to auto-resolve against it because Frosty will die. That's so ridiculous. Okay, well... do we just leave it be? Because I can't, because I'd have to make a cut here. You know what? I'm gonna let it suicide. Just leave it alone for now. Throgg, you know what? Just so we don't have to deal with this again, you're gonna go into raiding camp stance. Just heal Frosty for 1 turn, please. Wait, can we get back into our own territory in a single turn? Yeah, we can. You know what? Throgg, just go into Dietershofen. I need Frosty healed. I don't care what you do. Not possible. And we should build something here, but we don't have the money. And, income from raiding faction-wide and sacking settlements adjacent. Sacking Salzman will give us nothing, because it's been recently did. There we go. That'll heal up Frosty at the very least. Okay, heroes that haven't moved. You're not gonna move, because we don't have the money to move you. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. Throg's gonna finish up with his army, and he's gonna go out to sea next turn. Hopefully the elves won't go after him. Looks like Dastan Koldai, who's a scary lord, is going to patrol the waters here, which is actually gonna be quite helpful. I still don't understand what the hell Safari is doing. But that's okay. Well, let's proceed. Raiding in Marienburg, which is Wulfric doing it himself. I do wonder if he gains XP from raiding his own territory. Grimgor at the Fortress of Vorag. That's like half a map away, game. Why are we even seeing this? I guess the entire world learned about it. Is that what it's trying to imply here? Alright, military alliance. Let's briefly double-check our alliances with the Dark Elves. Okay, Wasteland. You're about to rebel, which is perfect. Exactly what we wanted. Wulfric. I guess you could stop raiding your own territory now. Just go right here. And, oh, no, you keep raiding for one more turn, then. Just let it rebel. Okay, there we go. And then you, Egrim. What are we gonna get you? I guess, oh, we can't level up Terrifying Paladin. I guess we need to get Foe Seeker anyway, so that's fine. Alright, Surtha Ek, one more turn before you head out to sea. As long as there's nobody over here. Nope. We're good. Our money is still okay. Throgg, you should now be able to attack Salzenland. We are going to just destroy it. We won't be able to auto-resolve it most likely. Depending on what the garrison's like. No, it should still be trash. Wait. You guys are at war with Sylvania and the Wargrowth. Okay, so Sylvania. Let's talk, shall we? What do you want for this?
I am on this night.
You guys, we will join war and help you against your very, very competent opponents, Ostland, if you give us some money. I still. That's lovely. Will they give us 5.3k? No. Mortal? Is Throgg mortal? I'm not sure. Let's go for Ost. Well, he can't be mortal anymore. Not after he's been blessed by all the gods. Payments, demand payment, how about 4,300? There we go. That's a pretty nice payoff. Damn. Just for joining war against Ostland? Ostland is terrible. They got like nothing. Alright, well. Oh, they do have a full stack here, though. Whatever. They might actually attack us in the field if we do this with Throgg. Whatever. I'm willing to bet that there's no stack in here. Yeah, there isn't. There is not, which means we should be able to get the auto-resolve in there. In fact, wait. Go here first. And then attack from here. There we go. Alright, I'm gonna quick save and auto-resolve. I really don't want to fight this manually. I don't think Frosty will die, but if he does, I'll reload the quick save and just do it. Because this is just such a colossal waste of time. Yeah, he still got hurt a little bit, but he's fine. He'll do just fine. We'll raise it for the Serpent again. We just gotta make sure not to over-raise for the Serpent. Can't get it up to 100. We're at 72 out of 100, so we just gotta get it up to like 96. Ish, or 94, 97. No, 97's a little bit risky, just in case. Just get up to the 90. Alright, Norden will be our next target. Ooh, Hellstorms. I frickin' love these things. One of my favorite artillery pieces in the game. Like, top 3. They're just so fun. Okay, now what else do we have here? We have buffs for Skin Wolves in Icy Wrath, and we are going to get at least a couple Skin Wolves in his army, because he doesn't actually buff them. But I do want a couple fast-moving units. So if nothing else, it'll be worthwhile. On the other hand, we could keep heading on towards Deadly Onslaught. He's got a decent amount of HP. We could make him hit a little bit harder. Our Skin Wolves max level? Yeah, they are. So this would help them. Nothing else here is really worthwhile for Throgg, and we still have 11 points to work with, 12 if we gain 2 at 40, although I don't remember if SFO still does that or not. Yeah, you know what, just go Icy Wrath. It's a free buff. Shouldn't be at 1 point, shouldn't be a big deal. If we have to ignore Mammoth Wrestler, I'll live with it. There we are. Okie dokie, and it looks like our Bale Fiend leveled up again. Can we keep making it tankier? Get you that armor, Miasma of Despair. Yeah, probably the best option. And then we'll go Aura of Chaos for even more trying to keep you alive. Because damn, you're somehow super fragile. Some units are deceptively fragile. And what the hell is this? Clan Gritus. I do not recall seeing that flag recently.
What?
Okay. Nice flag, though. What are we doing over here?
My challenge?
I guess we gotta move our heroes. I mean, it's going to be expensive. Let's talk to the Dark Elves first, I guess. Attitude. The Barrow Legion loves us. I guess they could love us less.
Blood.
Harganeth, we have no defensive alliances with you. What about military access? No. What about a defensive alliance? No. Come on. Come on, Harganeth. Well, we might have to pay them off at some point. What about military access with you? No, still not. Really, guys? Come on. Don't hold out on us. Okay. Well then, hero not moved. I guess we're gonna steal some tech. There's probably some stuff we gotta build, but we gotta keep stealing that tech. We've only got 2 points remaining. This is you right here, right?
Twisted.
Steal. And A, Frisky always does a good job at stealing. Failed much fewer times than everybody else. So let's go Onslaught, and we're almost at Potent. You two keep on stealing as well, please.
True Knight of Bretonia.
Not you. You. Alright, we are... Hello. Sleight of Hand. Lovely. Torvald Deck. Good job, buddy. And we're going to immediately level you up as well. You are maxed out on Steel Tech, so keep going through Onslaught. You, Hjalmar. I don't even like saying your name anymore. Don't fail. Hey, he succeeded. I'm genuinely shocked. But for once, not appalled at you, Hjalmar. Okay, so you're done, and then what about our... We have a third Hjalmar, right? Yeah, there we go, this guy. How about you? Oh, the Hjalmars are doing good this turn. Hey, and they got themselves a Zealot, but you don't need a Zealot because we're going to give that Zealot to an actual army sorcerer. We will, however, level you up, continue going through Onslaught, I guess. Everything else is fine. Okay, Imminent Rebellion in the Wasteland, -12, that's fine, and I guess we're going to end the turn and then proceed to have one more fight with Norden. And you will finish up your army and get to sea. Beautiful. Alrighty, which will mean we should be able to take out all of Ostland in next episode, and then the episode after that we should be able to fight the... Ooh, you know what we could do right now, actually? Wait, we should probably destroy that stack. Let's see if it moves away. If it moves away, we'll fight for the Sword of Torgald. If it doesn't move away, then we'll attack it.
Stupid dwarf thinks he's a king. In time, I be his master.
This is true, Throgg. This is true. Declare war, correct? Really? Are these guys insane? They have one settlement. They have what? They don't even hold. They don't even hold Krakadrak itself. Did I say Karazakrak? I meant Krakadrak. I don't know why these guys are doing this, but sure. Okay, game. Good luck with that. Yeah, sometimes the AI actions make absolutely no sense. And Rebellion, a last stand. The Empire's in flames. Many of its territories are devastated. However, there's still resistance, blah, blah, blah. Remnants of the Imperial Army, garrison forces, members of the religious cults and household troops have gathered to stem the tide for the Empire. They might retake Altdorf, which would actually be lovely, because then we could attack Altdorf and take it for ourselves. Marienburg, the Wasteland, yeah. So here we go. Let's see if this army is still here, and yes it is. I want to attack this with Throgg so that we have one battle with Throgg in this episode and one battle with Wulfric as opposed to 2 Wulfric battles, as I just prefer the variety. Plus I've been itching to see all the new units here in action, even though they're still a little bit hurt. But I think we'll be more than up to the challenge with regards to Norden, so here we go. Let's do it immediately. We could go into Berserker's stance, but I'm a little bit worried about Frosty. Yeah, I'm not willing to risk Frosty here. But let's go to Norden. We will have to make a cut here, of course, because the first battle is a cinematic one, but not bad in terms of balance of power. Exciting. Alright, let's... Alright, gotta make the cut. There it is, and here we go. Lots of animations to check out, so I'm pretty darn excited. Alrighty, here we go. The Beasts of Throgg finally get to play, and look at them all. Now, this battle, I think I'm going to do a little bit differently than I normally do in terms of our army setup. You can see that all these trolls are spread out as a completely just separate front line. They're not supported by our infantry, and they're just all over the place. and they're not supporting each other either, so there's no mass blob of trolls. Now, this is obviously not the best way to do it because they can get surrounded by masses of infantry. The reason I want to do this is a sort of experiment wherein every single troll will be a frontliner, and they will all be doing hopefully equal-ish amounts of damage and taking equal-ish amounts of damage. And this may allow us to sort of compare the various troll types among each other, or among themselves, or between them. Well, you know what I mean. And then we will be able to figure out which units are better. Obviously, we're still going to keep them all in here, but I'm still really curious. Anyway, let's take a look at our new units, shall we? The Norsken Stone Trolls, despite holding those gigantic mauls that they do, are the tankiest trolls that we have. Then we have our basic Norsken... the regular trolls, then we have the Norsken Ice Trolls, also with the big old mauls, and it does make sense that they hit harder. And let's see, where are the... I swear I just saw them. The River Trolls, there we go. You guys are in here as well. Let's see how well all of you do. Oh, they actually have some sort of actual axe, or what do we call these things? They're clubs, but they got teeth. What? Do these actually count as... No, okay, no. It's just as monstrous infantry. Anyway, we are going to obviously send in Throgg along with now his 2 supporting Bile Trolls in first, just to absorb the range fire, preventing it from taking down too many of these guys. Let's take a brief look at the setups over here. So the enemy army is pretty huge. They do have a garrison here as well as a full stack, so... we do have to spread out our entire force. Oh, I also didn't take a look at our Femur Stalkers. This is also their first fight. And it looks like they each have 2 weapons, and none of the 2 weapons are alike. I'm actually curious, do any of them hold 2 of the same weapon? Why don't you 2 trade? Maybe they like it that way. Yeah, it looks like they all have different weapons. Oh, wait. Oh, no, this guy has 2 of the exact same weapon. Good job. And wait, so do you. Huh, does anybody have 2 maces? Does it matter? It does not matter. Alright, so you can see the troll army is approaching. We also have our Werekin and our Mist Stalkers and Frosty moving around the back to try to get rid of some of the enemy range units. The Hellblaster, or not Hellblaster, the Hellstorm, rather. I space on weird things sometimes. The Hellstorm rocket battery, for some reason, firing at the trolls instead of... Well, I guess it can't see these guys, but it was firing at a Bile Troll instead of anybody else. Alrighty, and here we go. First charge of the Stone Trolls. Knocking a decent amount of units back. There we go. And now the lines have approached each other. We are also going to have our Femur Stalkers move in. Throgg, in the meantime, he was briefly, I believe, fighting the enemy Lord, who actually got hurt and then moved out. Damn, yeah. I didn't keep it slowed down. He did all that damage, and then that guy got out. Now Throgg will be helping his new Bile Troll buddy over here, who's taken a lot of damage to the enemy Empire Captain, as well as the Warrior Priest. Very, very close to half HP. They're just about at it. Obviously, they don't have any kind of chance against Throgg himself, but the new guy. Not such a great debut for you, huh? But that's okay. Throgg can deal with this nonsense. Anyway, we also have our first charge of our Femur Stalkers. Let's see how they move in. Okie dokie. Not a lot of enemy units dead on the charge, but these units do seem to perform fairly decently. So I'm pretty happy with them, especially since they're able to stalk towards the main line, which means that the Hellstorm rocket battery couldn't fire at them. And look at all the different monsters and beasts that we have in here. And hey, we have the River Trolls fighting here as well, along with all the other types of troll cohorts. Frosty, you can see in the background, is jumping in on somebody, but I guess we don't need to see, because we've seen plenty of Frosty throughout this campaign. Oh, wow. So this troll just ripped somebody apart. Damn. That's a pretty glorious animation. Looks like just a half of a person left. Alrighty. Alright, River Trolls, let's see how well you do. They are facing Halberdiers, which is exactly what they don't want to be facing. We do have a pure troll line, but certain numbers of our trolls are taking damage. You can see that the Femur Stalkers over here are taking some damage, but this is a little bit deceptive because they were already hurt. The River Trolls are probably taking the most damage here. We can see these ones have dropped at about 30%, maybe a little bit less than that. Looks like at about 30 to me. We also have the Carnifex, rather, our Werekin, who just towers over this Witch Hunter. This is a really fun matchup. This is a duel that I would like to watch, actually. Because they're both sort of assassin-type heroes. This is exactly what we want to see. You can see a penumbral pendulum going in the background over there. And it looks like the Carnifex does win in terms of this battle, but he's still taking damage as well. Obviously, he's not nearly as leveled up as he should be. He doesn't have the contact effects that he's going to be getting as we level him up. So he's going to be a lot better at killing individuals like this later. And I'm actually a little bit surprised that he doesn't use his mask to knock the Witch Hunter back a little bit. I would think being hit by a paw from this gigantic freaking Werekin would send somebody like this flying, but I guess not. Anyway, let's take a look at the damage thus far. Our Norsken River Trolls on this side also taking a beating, but that's not surprising as these are fairly fragile trolls. I might try using them as a little bit more of a flanking role as compared to the other trolls, i.e. let the other trolls be in the main line and then use these guys to attack the rear and the sides of enemy units, just because they're clearly not they're not resistant enough to damage to be mainliners like everyone else. I mean, I suppose the regular trolls aren't supposed to be mainliners either, and they will be supported by Femur, which we didn't do this time just because of the experiment. Obviously, we still had to send our Femur in so that they did the damage and they supported us, because we didn't want to lose too much or too many units or take too much damage, you know what I mean. Anyway, it looks like we're doing pretty good. The enemy army has not routed, but several individual units are. The Hellstorm Rocket Battery is down, and this side of the map is essentially out, whereas this side is still fighting. The enemy army has essentially been cut in half. I do wonder if one of the halves is actually the garrison, and the other half is actually the army. That might be why this is happening like this. Or alternatively, we could just be losing on this side a lot more. Look at how damaged these Norsken River Trolls got, though. I mean, yeah, once again, they really shouldn't be fighting Halberdiers, but hey, now we know. Not that we didn't know before, but now we have concrete evidence. Alright, so they're going to chase units down. I guess they're a little bit better at chasing units down than the other trolls. I think they're a little bit faster, but it seems like the Femur are just as fast. So that's going to be pretty good. These units are obviously not going to be coming back. The Skinwolves have been doing a great job, even though I haven't focused them at all in this particular battle. They've been running around, dishing a lot of damage. They actually charged a unit of Halberdiers and did a lot of damage to them earlier, but I forgot to zoom into that. Now they're just chasing units off now that they're at half HP. And let's take a look at this. The Witch Hunter versus the Carnifex. Looks like someone's about to get executed here. Oh, he's going to get some support from a bunch of Halberdiers. And at least he can use his mask to push through them, but now it looks like he's getting surrounded. The Empire Captain's here as well, so that's a little bit too much in terms of units. Fortunately, our blob of units, which is actually combined into a blob now, is very, very close, and they can just save him, so... Once again, we've also taken a lot of damage to this Norsken Ice Trolls, but this was the Norsken Ice Trolls that was all the way on the edge here. Was taking a lot of damage. Throgg actually took over from them because he's completely unharmed, and he's just distracting these units. These units were attacking them before, so that's Halberdier units and a Great Sword unit and a Sword unit. Fortunately, everybody else is routing. So that's looking pretty good. This side of the map is completely broken now. We don't need to really worry about that. Oh, I did not mean to speed that up. Yeah, these guys are all just basically chasing enemies off. We got a few nice casts off with our Femur Bale Fiend as well. We saw that penumbral pendulum in the background. We got an early Pit of Shades into one of the enemy forces as well, although sort of on top of one of our Norsken Ice Trolls units. But that's okay. It wasn't this one. It was the less hurt one. The much, much less hurt one. In fact, because I guess the Pit of Shades doesn't really do all that much damage to it. So there we go, the Femur Stalkers over here, the Mist Stalkers rather, also didn't take a lot of damage, but they were approaching from all the way in the corner, and we didn't expect them to take damage as they were attacking through the back lines. And now they're just chasing enemy extra units, as well as these archers over here who have decided to come back, which is probably not such a great idea for them. But the enemy army is just about done here. There we go. Looks like the trolls did a great job. I mean, they did kill them all. We could have done this a lot more safely. Like, we could have bunched them up, especially behind the stone trolls, who took the least amount of damage, which is not surprising. Throgg and Throgg also basically took no damage. Only the new Bile Troll did. And Frosty, as I recall, didn't take a lot of damage as well, but he was already hurt. Or they were already hurt, I don't know, from the previous battle, so it does make sense. Oh, and it looks like, unfortunately, the Witch Hunter does barely get away, but he barely had any HP left, so that's okay. I'm actually pretty impressed with the Femur Stalkers not taking a lot of damage, but they do have reasonable resistances and stuff like that. Plus, they were hiding behind the all the troll units, which I guess is not really what you want, because you want to be able to use their melee defense and stuff. On the other hand, since I believe they're the scaling damage units as well, having the trolls do damage and then them move in to capitalize on that is also a pretty decent strategy. Next time, I don't know if we'll do this next time or whether we'll blob up properly. I mean, not completely blob up, but a little bit more into a proper formation. But I guess we'll see. Experiments continue. Alrighty, there we go. Experiment complete, or at least partially complete, as we try to figure out how the damage was dealt among the trolls. Obviously, this is going to be a small sample size. We'll need a few more battles to figure out how all these individual units perform, but I'd still like to compare the damage dealt. The Femur Stalkers actually did pretty well. So did... I mean, honestly, everybody got roughly the same in terms of damage dealt. And the Stone Trolls really also did quite well. I thought they'd be dishing out less damage. The Norsken Ice Trolls did the most, but that's not surprising. It's what we expected. The River Trolls actually dished out a lot of damage, but they were also very, very fragile, and then while we were fighting, they took quite a lot of damage as well. This unit of Norsken Ice Trolls took as much damage as it did, mostly because it was exactly on the flank and was surrounded by enemy units. Other than that, a lot, really quite even across the board. There's no major difference. I'm actually surprised at how well the Stone Trolls did, in fact. Which is going to make it harder to figure out which units we're going to get rid of. And plus, I guess we'll also compare them like that a few times, as well as in a proper formation, i.e. interspersed with infantry and more blobbed up, instead of all the way spread out, where they can get attacked by multiple enemy units, which we, once again, did for experimentation purposes. Anyway, we are going to accept that, close that out. 5k for sacking this. It's not bad, but it's also not great. Almost makes me think it's not worth it. If we just take this and establish the outpost right now, you know what, just take it. Establish the outpost. I feel like 5k is not worth it, and then we'll just be able to attack the enemy faster here. And yes, I was correct. Wolfenberg is with the gold mine place. It's got 47k rather gold for sacking it. That's the gold mine I was talking about last episode or the episode before that, and we are definitely going to book it there and fix our money situation yet again, which will really help Sirtha Ek. There was 17k for Castle von Rocken as well, which is really quite a lot for how an undefended place, and it doesn't even have... I guess it's the same province though. Alright, lots of enemies killed in battle. We will take that for ourselves. I don't know if they have any other things. I really hope that Wolfenberg... Wait, it's not under siege, is it? What is that? I think so. It's like a little... Oh, is it under siege? Or are those now? Those are just things on fire. Not so much on fire, but like braziers and, I don't know, torches and all that sort of jazz. Okay, that had me really worried that the Vamps were going to take our 50k from us, and that wouldn't fly at all. Anyway, obviously we're out of time, so I'm going to call it here. I'm going to do all the admin stuff as I usually do, and there's plenty to do it now that we have cash and points not spent in several places. Next time, we are going to probably fight... Wait, how close... how close are you to rank 30? Okay, so as soon as we hit Castle von Rocken, Throgg will hit level 30. which means Wulfric will be able to... Okay, wait, you can actually stop raiding, buddy, before I forget. Which means Wulfric will recruit his mammoth, the Soul Crusher, and then we'll have the battle for the Sword of Torgald. Mostly, I really want to see the battle for the Sword of Torgald with Soul Crusher because there's a ton of peasants here, and I want to see the mammoth just run a rampage through them. It'll be hilarious. And, yeah, I guess we'll deal with this. Oh, hey, they're getting hell cannons in here. You know what I wish? I wish that Norskens could steal hell cannons, in the same way that you can steal artillery from others, but I'm pretty sure they can't. Only Chaos Warriors can use them, and we only get our one special hell cannon from siding with Khorne. It's Khorne that we get the hell cannon from, right? I believe it is. Here it is. Yeah. Align yourself with the Hound God. But yeah, it would be really cool if you could farm rebellions and then take their hell cannons away and then add them to your Norsken armies, because they're a pretty great unit. Anyway, as I said, calling it here. We'll fight this next time, hopefully, as well as hopefully the Sword of Torgald. We'll move Surtha out because he is ready to go and start, you know, reaving across the seas and leveling himself up, so that we can max out his army with the proper units that he's going to have with all his chariots and stuff. They're not really all that buff yet, but we're going to get there. Plus, we're going to get a few regular chariots in here, not just the Ice Wolves one, just for variety, in the same way that Throgg has his non-ice trolls. He has lots of trolls, and so are you going to have lots of chariots. Anyway, that's a problem for next time. So with that said, as always, I do appreciate any and all feedback, yada yada yada. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.